This is 5.4b of algebra. So we're going to continue with our point slope form. Remember, here's our equation. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, so our first got it problem here says, what is an equation of the line at the right? So we've got this graph, and we're going to come up with an equation. So first what we're going to do is we're going to find our slope. So remember our slope equation, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we've got 2 points here. I'll label this one x1, y1, and this one x2, y2. So I'm going to plug into it. M equals 4 minus negative 3 over 1 minus negative 2. So I get m equals 4 minus negative 3. That's the same thing as 4 plus 3. So that's 7 over, and 1 minus negative 2 is the same thing as 1 plus 2. So this is 7 over 3. So my slope is 7 over 3. So if I plug it into my equation, y minus y1 equals m. So instead of m, I'm going to plug in my 7/3 times x minus x1. And then I'm going to plug in the point. And the got it problem up here, they plug in the point 1, 4. So now I'm going to plug in instead, I'm going to use this point here, negative 2, negative 3. So y minus, instead of my y1, I'm going to plug in negative 3 equals 7 times 7/3 times x minus, and my x1 is negative 2, so negative 2. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to clean up, right? We don't like a minus a negative, so I'm going to change those into plus signs. So y plus 3 equals 7/3 times x plus 2. And that right there is my equation. In our got it problem, they got this equation right here. They used the other point. They used this one over here, 1, 4. This equation and the equation we got are the same equation. I know they look totally different, but they're the same equation for the line. They both are the equation for this line up here. Okay? If we distributed it and simplified it and put it into slope-intercept form, the one we did in the last section, they would look exactly the same. So even though they look different, they're still both correct answers. Okay, so we can also use a table to write an equation, right? We just used a graph. Now we'll use a table. So I've got a table down here, and I've got 4 points in there. You need to choose 2 of them. Doesn't matter which 2. So I'll use this one and this one. And I'm going to find my slope. Remember, my slope is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This one is my x. This one is my y. If it helps you, you can rewrite these as ordered pairs. That first one is 2, 3,320. And this one is 5, 7,070. So then I'll plug them into my slope formula. So I'll call this one x1, y1, and x2, y2. It helps if the bigger numbers are your x2, y2. You'll still get the same answer if you do it the other way, but it helps that way. So my y2 is 7,070 minus my y1 is 3,320 over my x2 is 5 minus my x1, which is 2. So 7,070 minus 3,320 gives me 3,750 over 5 minus 2 is 3. Let me see if I can divide that by 3. Yep, if I divide that by 3, I get 1,250. So my slope, my m, is 1,250. So I plug that into my equation. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. If I plug that in, y minus y1 equals, I plug it in for m, right? 1,250 times x minus x1. And then I need to choose a point to plug in. Doesn't matter, you could use any point from your table. I shall use this first point since it's already labeled as x1, y1. So, I get y minus, instead of y1, I'm plugging in 3,320 equals 1,250 times x minus, and my x1 is 2. And that would be my equation. If you were asked to then put it in slope-intercept form, we would distribute it in and rearrange it so that we get y alone. So you can see up here, they got this equation as the answer, and then they rearranged it so that they got y equals, and they put it into point slope form. And there's your homework.